And now, Will Smith is going through a midlife crisis. This week, Will relives his glory days in a synth band with rock star Alex.
Welcome to Will Smith's Midlife Crisis Management. As the title suggests, I've reached that age where I am wondering who I am. When I was growing up, middle age was 30, and I was really looking forward to going to harpsichord recitals and reading Len Deighton books on a bench. But now I'm in my 30s, and the people around me are still acting like teenagers. You can skateboard now as an adult without being chased by a mob. It's always been the way, though. Middle age shifts according to the life expectancy. In medieval times, you were lucky to get past 30, so you'd be having a midlife crisis during puberty. You're working out how to keep enough grain back for the Baron's tithe, whilst thinking, is subsistence farming really for me? Maybe I should have followed my dreams and become a beggar. Then suddenly, your voice breaks. Nightmare. Now, my godfather, Peter Black, has decided to try and help me through this. Peter, what's the solution?
I think you need to cut loose more.
I was going to say that. How can you tell?
Well, your birthday party was like a bloody wake.
I had fun.
You kicked everyone out at 10:30.
I wanted to watch Newsnight.
There's only one TV programme worth stopping a party for, and that's Top Gear.
Top Gear is dreadful.
Oh, come on, Will, it's a great show. I went to a recording recently, and it was hilarious. I was at the back. They put all the dolly birds at the front. Not a bad view. You can catch the top of Clarkson's head. You'll see nothing of Hammond. But I still had a blast. Clarkson says, "Name me a British car that can outperform a McLaren." I yell, "The Lotus Elise." Everyone cracks up. He says, "That hasn't even got a 4-litre injection." I'm on the floor. How do you come back from that?
I haven't understood a word you've said. As far as I'm concerned, Clarkson is Paxman's thick brother.
They're a great team, those Top Gear guys.
The best way to describe my objections to the Top Gear team is to talk about them in terms of the Matrix trilogy. Jeremy Clarkson is the original Matrix. Remember initial reactions to the film. You think goth gear, dark glasses, the machines have taken over. This is all a bit 80s, isn't it? A bit Billy Idol. Likewise with Clarkson. You've got jeans, blazer and rugby shirt, a permed mullet, and Thatcherism. With both Clarkson and the Matrix, you think surely there isn't an audience for this retro trash. And yet somehow it works. Richard Hammond is the Matrix Reloaded. You think you're going to like it, and at first you do. Then you find yourself thinking, what's the point of this? This is like the first one, but not as good. It's so much smaller in stature. Then you get the third, Matrix Revolutions, which stands for James May. By this stage, your defences are up. You've been hurt before, and you're hurt again. The lines don't make any sense. It's rambling, tedious, incoherent, and it doesn't even look good.
Well, I'm a classic car man, so I love Top Gear. I've got the Porsche, but I'm really holding out for an old E-Type Jag. I'm getting on, and there are very few left, but it's a dream, and I'm going for it.
I don't like sports cars.
When you're on the open road, taking a corner at 200 revs with Tina Turner's steamy windows blasting out at max volume, there's nothing like it.
I don't like going fast ever since I went to Alton Towers.
Those roller coasters are lethal.
No, I was pushed headfirst down a slide.
Well, you really need to let go. Live on the edge a bit more. Not try and control every single thing in your life.
I know, you're right. I've just had to organise a stag weekend, and it was an absolute disaster. So if you have a look at the itinerary subsheet, numbered B3, brackets games, you'll see that from now until 11 p.m, we'll be playing Cluedo and/or Fizz Buzz.
What's Fizz Buzz?
Oh, well, we go round in a circle counting up from 1, and for a multiple of 3, you say fizz, and for a multiple of 5, you say buzz.
What?
So it will go 1, 2, fizz, 4, buzz, fizz, 7, 8, fizz, buzz, 11, fizz, 13, 14...
Stop it!
And then 15 would be fizz buzz because it's a multiple of both 5 and 3.
You're not doing that.
Okay, yeah, no, I understand. I mean, 10 o'clock is quite late. Maybe we should get an early night.
We're on a stag weekend!
I know, and we all have to be up at 6 if we're going to get a chance to play in the Scrabble tournament.
How come you were the best man?
That question implies that I don't have any close friends and that I am incapable of organising a party.
Again, how come you were the best man?
Dan and I were good friends at university.
You never mentioned it before.
We had a bit of a falling out 10 years ago over which rock star had the best eyes. He said David Bowie. I countered with Iron Maiden's Bruce Dickinson. He says this is nonsense. Bowie's eyes are world famous. They're like his trademark. Baloney, says I. Bowie's eyes are just asymmetrical, whereas Bruce Dickinson has 20/20 vision. He has to because he's a commercial pilot. Dan retorted that I deliberately misinterpreted the word best, and he ended up cutting my eyes out of photos and sending them to me. I can't stand it when people don't give Bruce Dickinson the respect he deserves. He's a singer, a published author, a fencer, a pilot, and a disc jockey. He is a true Renaissance man.
So you hadn't seen this guy Dan for years. How was that?
Odd. I remember him as this slim, charismatic guy, like a young Billy Zane. He'd really changed.
Hi, Will.
Hi. Sorry, who are you?
It's Dan.
Oh, Dan! I didn't recognise you. You gained a lot of weight and lost your hair. I mean, you gained a lot of hair with a big beard and lost emotional weight. The whole weekend was agony, not least because it reminded me of my own slim chances of snaring a bride.
Talk of snaring usually has women queuing up.
I'm really feeling the pressure. My mother keeps talking about the pitter-patter of tiny feet. Short of marrying a giant cockroach, that isn't likely to happen.
At least you'd know your marriage would survive a nuclear war. Apart from that, I don't really see much of a future.
So what do I do?
Well, you need to be looser and cooler. Hopefully this week's guest can teach you that. Please welcome lead singer of hot band The Lakeland Poets, Alex O'Hanlon.
So, hi, man. Yeah, so you want a bit of rock and roll in your life?
Yeah, I was on this stag weekend and... sorry, you can't smoke in here.
Oh, sorry, man. Yeah. Well, I've lit it now. You may as well finish it.
It doesn't really work like that. If a police officer says, put down the gun, you can't say, let me empty the magazine first.
All right, relax, man. Cigarettes don't kill people.
They do. That's why they're banned.
Yeah, but tobacco grows in the ground. So how can you outlaw something that grows naturally? It's like you're outlawing the planet.
Uranium occurs naturally. I don't want people lobbing that around in public spaces.
Oh, where's the harm, man? Laws are made to be broken.
Again, no. They're made to counter and curb activities that are a detriment to society as a whole.
But is it fair that we don't get a say in those laws? That's why I pick and choose which laws I obey.
Look, it's not a pick and mix. The law is the law. And believe me, there are plenty of laws I would like to break. I would love to let the rose bush in front of my house run wild, but the Pedestrian Byways Act of 1963 means that I am responsible for maintaining it in such a way as does not obstruct the pavement.
Oh. Calm down, mate. I have now finished my cigarette, and out of respect for you, I will not light another.
Is it respect? Was that the last in the packet?
A bit of both.
This is how you want me to be, is it, Peter?
I just don't want you to be worrying about consequences all the time. Get a bit rock and roll. Here's one of my little quizzes to show you how uptight you are. Question 1. What's the most you've ever drunk in an evening?
I once drank a whole bottle of absinthe. I got so wasted, I thought I was the tree that killed Mark Bolan.
I once had 3 pints.
3 pints of beer? Well, that's pathetic.
Not beer, milk. It helps me sleep. I mean, that night I needed more than usual. I just watched Justin Lee Collins trying to reunite the A-Team. All I kept thinking was, if there was a real A-Team, the problem I have that no one else can help me with is him.
The question was about alcohol. What's the largest amount of alcohol you've ever drunk in an evening?
I don't really like alcohol.
A man needs a drink. You've got to have your drink.
I do. Tea. Plenty of varieties for every mood.
Okay, next question. Where's the strangest place you've ever had sex?
In the ruins of Tinton Abbey.
What?
We were shooting a video and me and a couple of the extras got frisky.
Frisky is how you describe a dog mounting a slipper. Next question.
You haven't answered the last question, Will. Where's the strangest place you've ever had sex?
The wrong way across a bed.
What's so strange about that?
It's wrong. Your head should be near the pillows. It was a horrendous experience. I felt like I was drowning.
Final question. What's the thing about you that's most surprising?
I have the world's largest collection of pirate memorabilia.
What, like badges and stickers?
No. But, you know, pirates were kind of the first rock stars. They were wild. They were unpredictable. People used to lock up their daughters when they were in town.
That's because they were murderous thieves.
What?
Are you seriously saying they were the prototype for Boyzone?
Well, you know, well, they're not rock stars, are they? I'm talking about people like Jimmy Page.
What, he's like a pirate, is he?
Yeah, a rock and roll pirate.
Has he got a hook for a hand and a wooden leg?
Yeah, you're being too literal, man. You ain't got no poetry.
What's the most surprising thing about you, Will?
Well, the thing about me that is most surprising is that, I don't know, I've never watched an entire episode of Coronation Street.
You know, that is tragic.
I know it's meant to be good and lots of people like it, but the moment I hear the theme tune and see the shots of those rain-soaked cobbled streets, I just start thinking of damp dogs and men eating pork pies for breakfast in betting shops. The thought of a gulag makes me happier than Coronation Street.
I meant that it's tragic that the most surprising thing about you is that you've never watched it. There must be something else about you that can amaze us.
Okay, I've got a ball of foil at home I've made from the wrappers from Terry's chocolate oranges that is as large as a Terry's chocolate orange.
Well, that means that Alex leaves you standing in terms of wildness. You see where you need help.
I absolutely concede that I'm a little overcautious in certain areas of my life, but I doubt that the solution is that I drink till I think I'm a tree or copulate in an abbey.
Well, how do you have fun, then?
Well, that is a problem. I mean, my idea of fun doesn't correspond to anyone else's. Alex, what would you do on a stag weekend?
Well, my stag weekend and wedding were all one event. Yeah? We'd done this gig in Portsmouth and got hammered on gin with all these Navy guys. Then we ended up breaking in onto the Victory. And me and Kath cut our arms, let our blood mingle, made pagan promises to each other and merry old Albion.
That's not technically a wedding.
Well, we made our own vows.
Has no legal basis.
What? Don't matter, we split up now anyhow. No harm done.
You had a kid together, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, we adopted this African toddler. But, you know, I was off on tour and Kath was running her clothes shop, so, we sent him back. No, 'cause he was really missing his village, you know.
When I get married, I will treat it with a great deal more seriousness than you, Mustard.
It won't be fun, though.
It's not about fun. It's about having someone with a spare set of keys that you trust. Peter, what did you do on your stag night?
Therein lies a tale, and one I think you'll like, Alex. We start off with a few rounds of crazy golf. It had only just blown in from stateside. Back then, it was all the rage. My best man hit a ball so hard it took a sail off the miniature windmill. Anyway, that's by the by. We polish off some mixed grills at the local Wimpy and head out on the town on a pub crawl to end all pub crawls. We turn up at the third bar, and who's there? Only the guys from Thin Lizzy. I thought, this is going to be a night to remember. Boy, could they put away the ales. Teach you a thing or two, Alex.
Well, you know, that's my mantra. Live fast, die young, leave a beautiful corpse. You know, like Kurt Cobain.
Kurt Cobain shot himself in the face and wasn't discovered until 3 days later. I think beautiful corpse is contentious.
Well, you do what you do. I could be Wordsworth and live to be an old fart, or I could be Keats and go out in a blaze of glory.
I think Keats died of consumption.
He did his best work when he was young.
He was never old. He did all his work when he was young.
Still, he checked out on top.
I've never understood why a young death is admired. Personally, I'm looking forward to growing my nose hair and complaining to the local paper about misleading road signs.
Die in your sleep, where's the glory?
The glory will be for whoever finds me. It'll be nice, clean, no mess to deal with.
But you've got to be more rock and roll.
I've had enough rock and roll in my life, thank you. When Dan and I were in the band at university...
What, wait, there, band?
Yeah, band, as in group of musicians.
You were in a band?
Why is this so amazing?
Was this a brass band?
No, keyboards.
How long did it last?
Not for long, it was a university thing.
Oh, yeah. Get worshipped like a god on stage, then slake your carnal lust on whichever madam wants a portion.
I think that was Dan's idea, yeah. I mean, the real draw for me was that if we booked the rehearsal space, it stopped the Drama Society using it, and I hated them.
That's a bit mean.
They were trying to do Macbeth in the style of a Tarantino film. They'd called it Reservoir Jocks.
Fair enough.
It wasn't just that, I was actually into the music then.
Oh, the early 90s was a great time for British music.
Oh, absolutely.
Suede, Pulp, Prodigy.
I was thinking more of Culture Beat and Hadaway.
Yeah, okay. Your combo have a name?
Well, we were a synth duo, so we called ourselves Four Hands, One Heart.
Oh,
And you think this is less surprising than the fact that you have a chocolate orange foil ball?
It's not something I think about a lot.
Whereas the chocolate orange foil ball...
I think about every day. It's a labour of love, and it's getting bigger all the time.
Yeah, I've got to say, I didn't think that Lady Rock had sunk her fangs into you.
I'm just not so keen on the band thing. I like the keyboards, mainly because you can create a whole band without actually having to have other people. I only got one because I was having piano lessons, but the piano was in the lounge and it was hard to practice because my parents only allowed me in the lounge at certain times, after midnight before 8 a.m. They got me a synthesizer so I could play upstairs on headphones. It's really cool. You could sample sounds and make music out of anything. I did this song with stuff I recorded my parents saying.
William Smith. William Smith.
Where are the car keys?
Where are the car keys? Where are the car keys? Where are the car keys? Clear up this Lego, clear up this Lego, clear up this Lego this instant.
Are you recording this?
Are you recording this? Are you recording this?
2 sugars.
2 sugars.
I took it to university. Dan saw me moving it in. He had a keyboard himself and always wanted to sing in a band, so, we started writing together.
And what was your sound?
Well, here's a snatch of Tequila Highway.
You bring the salt, I'll bring the limes, and together we will ride on Tequila Highway.
And what kind of music would you call that?
It's synth pop soul. We did that for a while. Then 3 words changed our lives. Ace of Base. Adding reggae to the palette changed our sound forever. This is a taste of Hot Butter Girl.
Hot butter girl, I'd like to spread you on my toast for tea.
Yeah, it's a bit too corporate for me.
You could not be more wrong. We were turned down by every major record label in the country.
Well, I see. Demos get you nowhere. You should have hit the road. That's where it comes alive, when music connects with the audience.
We only did one gig, supporting Go West.
Trying to imagine you on stage in a band is like trying to picture Archbishop Rowan Williams in a prison brawl. Was it a good gig?
Not really. One of their roadies unplugged my keyboard and it reset itself. I had to reprogram it on stage, and I couldn't see the display because of the stage lights. I was trying to switch between synth horn and cyber sax when someone yelled, "Come on, Will!" I mean, they meant it as encouragement, but I thought they meant hurry up, and I got quite cross. I think I really lost the crowd when I got out the manual for the keyboard and started reading from it to show how complicated it was. Configures the sound waves. Then press configure and function simultaneously to access the system file. Step 12, hold down buttons A and modulator. I ended up using the wrong setting on our opening number, which was a cover of Tina Turner's What's Love Got to Do With It. We wanted to get them on side with the cover before we went in with original material. This slapping sound came out of it, which meant I got in trouble with the University Women's Society, who thought I was making fun of the fact that Ike Turner was a violent husband. Go West told us to get off because we were souring the atmosphere so badly that they even made a joke about us when they went on.
What did they say?
Well, it wasn't really a joke. They just said, sorry about those 2 dicks. But we had the last laugh because that got a bigger cheer than any of their hits.
You want to get an on-stage persona, then you can cope with any upset. Like, when I sing and write, I do it as Walter Ego. He's like...
Your alter ego, yeah, I cracked the code.
All right. But it gives me that distance. So when people are on at me saying, why did you do that? Or what does that mean? I say, it weren't me, it were Walter.
Did you split after that one gig then?
No, we limped on for a few months. Then Dan got really into grunge and I got really into Enigma. Our last demo was frankly unlistenable.
I want to die. I want to die.
And then he dropped out of university to pursue a solo career. First I heard was when he got back in touch to ask me to be best man.
Oh, Dan sounds like the best man to me, because he followed his dreams, the drumbeat of his heart. Why did you blow the whistle at the Dream Factory?
Well, for me it was less about the music and more about preventing the drama club rehearsing.
Yeah, but you don't know where it might have led. I mean, I started in the band for the skirt and the booze, but now I've been asked to write the theme song for the next Bond movie. When I was a kid, I could never have imagined that...
Hang on. Well, you've been asked to write the new Bond song? Why? You're completely inappropriate. You're a drug-addled wreck. You can't sing about Bond.
Yeah, Bond is like a junkie hooked on women and violence. Vodka martinis, just his methadone.
When I play Bond, I'm going to insist that the song is performed by a supergroup comprised of Eric Clapton and Mark Knopfler on guitars, Phil Collins on drums, Rick Wakeman on keyboards, and Paul McCartney on bass, with vocals by Leslie Garrett. And it would be called something like Spy in a Bow Tie.
Mine's called Too High to Die.
That is an illogical title. Whether you're referring to altitude or emotion or illegal substances, there is no high at which immortality is a given. There are, however, two indisputable facts about Bond. One, he is a spy, and two, he wears a bow tie. I win.
You want to be Bond, you're going to have to be more sociable. He does like a drink, Will.
Oh, I can act drinking, that's easy.
Well, why didn't you act drinking on your stag weekend?
I was in a position of responsibility. I was best man. I couldn't get drunk. Anyway, the whole thing was a farce. I don't think he's marrying anyone. I think he made it up to get me away for the weekend to beg me to reform the band.
Why do you think that?
Because he said, I'm not marrying anyone. I made it up to get you away for the weekend to beg you to reform the band. He had a horrific surprise for me at the local pub.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Now we've got a band playing tonight. I know. Yeah.
Oh, God, it'll be too loud. Should we go somewhere else?
Synthesizer. So please welcome 4 hands, 1 heart.
What?
Will, if you'd like to join me, I have our keyboards all set up. This is Hot Butter Girl.
Come follow me down to the kitchen and get out the ragga toast for the Hot Butter Girl.
Get up, you London Nazi boys!
There was nearly a riot. There was only one way to placate them, and luckily, my quick thinking saved the day.
Yeah, you should have stuck to your guns, played your own song. Got some of that punk spirit.
I hate punk.
Punk's where it all started, man.
Come on, Will. Alex has a point. What about all those great edgy bands like the Kaiser Chiefs, Simple Minds, Santana, and the Guns and Stone Roses?
Yeah, they're all crap too. My actual point is, don't give the audience what they want. Give them what they don't know they need. Eh? Like, when I first played songs like Tristram Shandy's Blues and Kipling's Dream, people hated them because it was like a new direction using old English folk with dance beats. Now, people love them.
Can you just satisfy my curiosity on something?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Keats, Wordsworth, Lawrence Stern and Rudyard Kipling. Were these your set texts at A-level?
They might have been, yeah.
Thanks, that's all I wanted to know. Anyway, the other stags were so furious with how rubbish the weekend had been, they found a woman in the pub who was willing to come back to the cottage and strip for 50 quid. Stop! I'm not going to allow this to happen.
She wants to.
Well, get out the way, they can't see.
It's degrading.
But I like stripping. Makes me feel young and sexy.
But you're not.
How dare you? Who do you think you are?
I am in charge of this stag weekend, and I am telling you to put your clothes on and get out. We are going to play Risk.
Come on, dearie. Stripping's not so bad. Let me show you.
Go! Get off me! Stop that! I ended up naked, tied to a cattle grid. It wasn't even my stag weekend.
Sounds wild. That's the sort of stuff I've been trying to teach you.
It was horrible. These cows came up and were just looking at me. Although luckily one of them came over and I was able to quench my thirst by drinking straight from the udder. It was then that the farmer found me, and that's when the questions really started.
Wow. Yeah, man, I think you actually got me beat on that. The single wildest thing I've ever done was drive a car into Keith Moon's swimming pool.
Oh, wow, what a hoot. That's the sort of thing they do on Top Gear. I mean, that is living.
In the end, it weren't even his old house. I got the address wrong.
Priceless. You couldn't make it up.
Yeah.
What was the car? Some old banger?
Yeah. Just an old Jag. One of those E-types. A record company gave it to me as a present. I didn't need it. I get cabs everywhere. I like talking to the drivers because they keep me real. Yeah.
I can't believe you did that. I've got my name down with every UK dealer in case one comes up. Which model was it?
Search me, mate. It had 2 doors. I remember that much.
You idiot!
I think it was a V12 something.
It was a Series 3, the most collectible.
It's pretty rock and roll though, isn't it, Peter? What's the problem?
The problem is, there aren't many of those left, and to wantonly trash one of them is just bloody childish.
Well, life's about the moment. It's what I'm trying to tell. Oi, calm down, all right.
The Series 3 featured a new 5.3-litre 12-cylinder Jaguar V12 engine with uprated brakes and standard power steering.
Get off me!
Come on, Peter, let him go. In a bit.
No doubt it escaped your attention as the waters rose that there were also a very limited number of 4.2-litre 6-cylinder Series 3 E-types built. Ow! Some featuring prototype cassette players. And a pearl inlay glove box complete with a chrome cigarette dispenser. It is believed these are the rarest of all remaining E-types. And you drowned it!
So, what have you learned, Peter?
I value certain cars above human life. Will Smith's Midlife Crisis Management was written by Will Smith and Roger Drew. It was performed by Will Smith, Roger Allam, Dan Tetzel, Roger Drew, Manjit Mann and Paul Ryder. The producer was Delusha Galani.
Hello? Hello? Dan, I know this is you. Come on. Leave me alone.
I love you.
And next week, Will tries to get a girlfriend with mixed success.